I'm rocking blessed state of mind to remind me that I'm blessed.
The lazy ones will not eat. God is sending a warning to all of the lazy ones out here who are clout chasing, pretending, faking, or just flat out just being lazy in their walk on this earth. At some point, this world adopted the notion of, I don't want to adult today and take a mental day and a self-care day. And unfortunately, it's destroyed some of the willpower to push through in situations where God needs you to fight. Laziness can cause delay and denial in the things that we are wanting and praying for from God. We'll sit there and whine and cry, ooh, Jesus bless me. Ooh, God, why don't I have this? But what works are you really putting into it? What are you doing to make sure that these things come to pass? Because faith without work is dead. For the last few years, acting ratchet and ignorant and doing anything to become viral has become more important to people than actually doing what they need to do for God and fulfilling the purpose that He has put inside of us. People are lazy in their characters. They're lazy at work. People want $15 for minimum wage when there's college students who put in the work who has to fight for $15 an hour. People are lazy in their parenting. You fuss and complain about your parents maybe needing a break from watching your child. You want to argue with them while you don't pay them. But then you get online and flex about how you got this single life stuff down. We're celebrating more broken families and females taking pictures with photo shoots or pregnancy photo shoots by themselves with no father in sight, opposed to kingdom marriages. It's a lot of backwards things going on right now. This sugar daddy, sugar baby mentality. And just for a warning to those females that think it's cute to be somebody's side chick and mistress, you are breaking up homes. You will not have a good marriage, a good life, or a good bloodline by breaking up somebody else's. God's coming for you. God's coming for a lot of this laziness out here, the fraudulent talent, the fraudulent bodies, influencers, all of these things that are distracting God's people are making it hard for God's people to be in their rightful places. He is going to destroy. But you have to be ready to put in that work. He's also not going to continue to hand us things. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. At first, when God shared this with me to share and I started reading on the scriptures, I'm like, yeah, get the lazy ones. And I realized, I'm kind of one of the lazy ones. There's certain things that God has told me to do that I've either done, kind of done. I know that I can do a lot more. What is it that God has put on your heart to do, to get done, that you just refuse to do and put in the work? People give this false impression on social media that they woke up one day with $50 in their pocket and started a business, and 30 days later, they became a millionaire. Such lies, okay? I'm telling you from experience, that thing takes some work. But what happens is it makes other people feel like things aren't moving fast enough in their life. Like they should just be able to wake up one day and their bank account is, filled with $20 million. Or they wake up one day and their husband is magically next to them in the bed. And that's not how it works. Social media has really caused some delusional mindsets out here. And it causes unnecessary frustration with God because He's not about to move on nobody's accord but His. And we may be more unprepared than what we think to fulfill His destinies and His purpose. This thing took me about 2 weeks to post because every time I listen to it, I'm like, I get a new revelation or I get a new understanding. And this warning, I believe the Bible says judgment falls on the just and unjust. I might have Got that a little wrong, but the right scripture, it'll be in the description box. But it's definitely a warning to everyone. Now, for those who don't believe, they will suffer a lot worse. They will not only not eat, they will starve. But for the ones who do believe, it'll be more about correction. But God gives us free will. So if you choose not to take his correction, you will not eat. If you do take his correction, you will not starve. And I just want to be clear, this is not just about eating and starving and hunger, like for food. This is for all the areas in your life. He will either dry them up or he will make them bountiful and plentiful. But it all depends on your obedience. Just to give you a few examples of what he means by the lazy ones will not eat. Like I said, it's a lot of fraudulent activity out here. It's a lot of nothing out here trying to pretend that there's something. A lot of people say a lot of words nowadays and they still haven't said anything. They're just wasting people's time and they're just making a lot of noise. And the noise doesn't sound good in his ears. For instance, this presidential election. Do I need to say anything more? This thing has become a whole circus for real, and the clowns are real. The pretend standard of beauty out here. You got these butterfly lashes everywhere. You got fake beards. You got fake hair, fake bodies, all types of stuff floating around. So here's a warning to those who hides behind those fraudulent filters, who uses their beauty to get a bag, who uses their beauty to manipulate and to distract and to destroy. The pretend standard of beauty will dry up in the eyes of this world, especially in the eyes of men. God's men will see what real beauty is and in the way God intended it to be. So all these little fake reality stars and fake talent and fake things, baby, the real you is about to be exposed. We already see exposure going on, but it's the women's turn now. Another example is this Jezebel and Ahab mindset of being a hoe to get a bag. You got strippers that are in the rightful places of where a good woman should be, to the point that it has affected the standards of this world. Y'all don't believe me? You know where this whole stripper thing came from? These rappers back in the early 2000s, every last one of them went and found some chick in a strip club and started putting her on red carpets. And now we are 10 years later, 20 years later, where there's the mentality of most guys is they want a woman, but because they've been scrolling through stripper butt for the last 10 years, they no longer know what that looks like. Or they run across one of God's good women and they get scared because they're unprepared. The definition of what a good woman is, what a good man is, and what good is, period, has been warped in this world and in people's mindsets, and God is going to correct it. The cream will rise back to the top. The crabs will go back down to the bottom of the barrel where they belong. He's correcting the order of those making a mockery of what real works look like. You got these fake blended families out here. You know, it's so many people that were exposed during the whole relationship goals era for being just business partners and not being a real family or not really being married or whatever the case is. There's still some people left to be exposed. The clout chasing antics. People are more worried about likes and views than they are worried about fulfilling God's destiny and purpose. And now we have a generation of kids who think more about being an influencer or a gamer, or a YouTuber, than they ever think about being God's child. A lot of parents out here says things like, oh, these kids just don't know. These kids just don't know. But these are your kids. What are you doing? Even if you don't have children. I don't know about how y'all grew up, but baby, I had a village. Still have a village. Even if you don't have children, these are your kids. Somebody paved the way for us, especially African Americans. So what are you doing to pave a way for them? You can't complain about these kids not knowing if you're not teaching them. Stop trying to be their friends. You're not their little friends. I let these kids know all day, baby, I fight kids. You know, when I come across some of these younger teenagers, because they grew up on reality TV shows. We had, Felicia Rashad. We had Different World. We had shows that uplift you with standard and things like that. And we definitely had to go to church. They don't have that. So their mindset is completely different. I be on their heads. Do you understand me? I'm all in their business. You got a girlfriend? Oh, you do? Can you afford a baby? Oh, you can't? So you don't need to have a girlfriend, huh? You see how that works? I be all in their business. And you'll be surprised how much they respect me for it, because it shows that somebody cares enough. I hear some of y'all talking to these kids like they are grown, cussing them out, all types of crap. Then I hear them later with their friends cussing and fussing, and I got to go check them. Stop expecting these kids to just know when nobody's taking the real time to teach them. You see what they're doing by trying to erase history. There's so many things to stand up for. There's so many things to put in works for. But people rather TikTok all day and scroll through a dating app all day, or scroll through butt all day, or whatever it is that y'all doing that is distracting you. God needs you to fulfill the destiny that he has put inside of you. Because the ones that are trying, we tired. Because when you decide you're not going to step up, then that work goes off to the next person. It's like when somebody just ups and quit, and now you got to pick up their load. The people who are intercessing, praying, and going forward, they now trying to pick up 2-3 more purposes and destinies that wasn't theirs to fulfill. But the body of Christ has to work, which means you have to work. For those who are saying they want minimum wage to be $15 an hour, that's not the problem. Some of you don't even want to work and you want $15 an hour. No. But the problem is cost of living, because when they see you doing better, all they do is raise the prices. You want something to change? Put some pressure on them about the cost of living out here, because it is jacked up everywhere. I need people to stop telling people that it is cheap to live in Texas now. Stop lying to people for likes and views. And that's the laziness that he's going to correct. All these frauds are about to catch it, because they are sincerely affecting people's lives. But in the same breath, you should not be so weak-minded and such a follower that you don't do your own research and you don't get your behind in your prayer closet and go to God about what you should be doing about your life. They should not be your gods. TikTok should not be your God. TikTok is not even created by anybody that believes in your God. Think on that for a little bit. Now, I just gave a few examples, and there's a lot of scriptures in the description box. Please read them. Like I said, this took me about 2 weeks to post, because I really deep dived in it for my own self. Because I don't know about you, but I didn't like getting whoopings from my mother. I damn sure don't feel like getting a whooping from God. So what are you being lazy in that God has given you to do the work or instructions to pursue? It's something, whether it's spending more time with your kids, working out, preparing for the marriage that you say that you want. Because you can't be out here sleeping with everybody thinking that you're about to be somebody's husband or wife. You can't turn no hoe into no husband. You can't turn no hoe into no wife. You're going to have to clear that up and get your willpower up. Just FYI for those who feel like they should have somebody, but you still having everybody. And on the flip side, there may be some of you who are extremely successful. By this world standards, you are extremely successful, but you don't feel fulfilled. And that's simply because you have not fulfilled what God has told you. You might be, rich, married, and bountiful in the world, but you are broke and dry in the spirit. What you don't want to do is put in all of this hard work, and you look up and you haven't even fulfilled your purpose. And now you don't have that much time to do that. Get into your space wherever you and God talk. Some people go to the park. Some people go to their car. Some people go in the closet. Some people go in the shower. Some people go on vacation. They get in the water. Whatever it is that you do, and you have a real talk to God. Because when I say He not playing with us, you see how out of control this world is, right? You ever see like your brother, sister, cousin, or whatever, they just acting up, and your mom has told them, chill out, relax, stop it, look now, hey, about 4 or 5 times, and you know it's coming for them, but they don't know it's coming for them, or they just want to keep trying to see if it's going to come, and then it gets real quiet, and then all of a sudden, you know, they're knocked out somewhere, out of the blue, out of nowhere, it just comes out of nowhere. She might let a day pass by. She might let a couple hours pass by, and then she just unleash all that wrath. Yeah, that's what's happening right now with the world. People are acting up. And God's just like, okay, all right. I don't want to be there when He gets to snatching people. Okay? I don't want you to be there when He gets to snatching people. I want us to be on the other side like, I tried to warn you. Tried to help. Dang. I don't want you to catch that whooping. So please look at the scriptures that's in the description box. I want to make sure that I'm saying everything I'm supposed to say. He has put a destiny inside of you that is meant to be accomplished and put out into this world during your days on this earth. You can't be lazy with that, because the real ones will be put in their rightful places, and the lazy ones will not eat and they will not be seen. Do not be one of the lazy ones. Also, don't let anybody be lazy with you. The standards of relationships is complicated. Situationships, those are not real relationship statuses. You either together or you're not. They're either worthy or they are not. Don't let anybody get you on discount and feel like they can disrespect you whenever they want and come in and out whenever they want. The lazy ones will not eat. Because if you're God's, baby, you worth something. And you're worth more than that every now and then. You're worth more than pretending like you don't pick up on those lies. That's even with some friendships. People out here acting like they playing reality TV shows. Can't talk to anybody for real because I don't want to be judged. Okay, when you don't want a real friendship, you don't want truth. Don't lower your standard for nobody, especially even with being diverse. Be careful, because everybody don't believe in a God that you serve and you believe in. So what are you really being diverse to? What spirits are you being diverse to? Ain't nobody worth you having to be quiet about your God to be in your life. Nobody. So as God requires us not to be lazy in His doings and His wants for us, also make sure you require that of the people that are around you, because whatever you are around, you will be. And you don't want to get smacked upside your head from God because you are around some lazy ones and that you allowed them to be lazy. In a world that encourages mediocrity, we encourage greatness. We inspire boldness. Every product is a message of hope, faith, and courage to stand when the world says lay down. Blessed State of Mind is a God-given vision come to life. High quality with a high purpose. Shop with us today at blessedstateofmind.com and follow us on Instagram and YouTube at Blessed State of Mind.